What does filmed for IMAX mean? It isn't just a movie that'll look great on IMAX's screens. It means that hiding from a sandstorm feels like fear in every flicker. And every triumph is felt in every sound wave. And the things we've only imagined, you can truly experience those too. That's what filmed for IMAX means. Get tickets to experience Dune Part 2 now and IMAX's exclusive expanded aspect ratio.
Survivor 46 is here, and so is On Fire, the only official Survivor podcast, and we have a twist this season. The winner of Survivor 45, Dee Valladares, will be joining us every week.
We're going behind the scenes of the biggest moments, the how and the why things happen, and the strategy and analysis you can only get from someone like me, a Survivor winner.
Listen to On Fire, the official Survivor podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Get in, loser! Mean Girls is now streaming on Paramount Plus. Join Katie Heron as she meets the plastics in Tina Fey's new twist on the modern classic. Get ready for more of the rumors, backstabbing, and jokes you loved from the original movie with some fetch surprises. Rated PG-13. Wear pink and head to ParamountPlus.com to try it free.
Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of Keep Watch Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. We are continuing our Razzies special month with a feel-good story because we are talking about the films starring Colin Farrell. Why Colin Farrell, do you ask? Because he's not nominated for any of the Razzies this year. No, he is the winner of the Razzie Redeemer Award from the 43rd Golden Raspberry Awards because he was nominated in 2004 for Worst Actor in Alexander, and then of course went on to be nominated for, and I think he actually won the Academy Award for Best Actor for The Banshees of Inisherin. So the Razzie Redeemer Award is, you were in a crap movie before, but you were in a good movie now, so kudos to you. And here to join me on this show is the one who redeems me on a regular basis, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing really, really good. So when it came time to go through the filmography of one Mr. Colin Farrell, how tough was it for you to pick just 3 films?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. Colin Farrell could literally read me the phone book, and I'd be okay with that. So, I mean, I might be a bit biased because I think he could play the frickin' shark from Jaws. Sorry, Ben Affleck. Step aside.
Are you saying that Jaws would have to be recast because of Colin Farrell?
Yes. Make it so.
Make it so.
Did you know that Colin Farrell, interesting side note, he was in an Irish boy band called Boyzone?
What?
Yeah, apparently.
What?
So says the wiki.
What?
He used to be in a boy band.
Although, that being said, you said that he could read the phone book to you. Is he in a phone booth while reading it? Because he starred in the movie Phone Booth in 2002.
Oh, God. You know, all I could think is, you know, the Trolls movie, the most recent one where they had like a boy band and Branch was in the boy. All I could think is, oh my God, Colin Farrell's a troll. No.
Someone's going to hear this out of context and go, did she just call Colin Farrell a troll?
Oh, I'm going to blow up the internet.
That seems like really, really odd and uncalled for.
I'm sure he would love it.
So please direct all your hate mail to Carrie at Keep Watch Pass.
Would he not? No, come on. Would he not make the best troll?
I'm just trying to picture Colin Farrell in real life with his hair completely colored and teased way up to the sky.
No.
Doing boy band songs.
He needs to voice one of the trolls.
No, it'd be better in live action.
No.
Make this happen.
I want to see Anna Kendrick as Poppy with the pink hair standing on ends. Make it so.
Make it so.
JT
doesn't have the hair for it. Anna Kendrick at least has the hair for it.
Yeah, but wigs can. Live action trolls.
Live action trolls would be hilarious.
Make it so.
But only if we have Colin Farrell reliving his boy band days.
Oh, please.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through the filmography of the troll Colin Farrell and pick 3 films. You're never living that down.
He's so not a troll.
We're going to pick a keep, a watch, and a pass. The keep is the movie where, much like Colin Farrell is a troll, we would hold it in high regard. The watch is the film that probably stars Colin Farrell as a troll, but we're going to watch it anyways because it's a decent film, but maybe not the first film that we pick. And the pass is exactly what Colin Farrell would do if anyone came to him and said, would you like to be a live action troll in a film? Because he's a smart man. But the pass is the movie that we would probably not watch. So now that we've completely and utterly ruined your perception of Colin Farrell, let's start to pick our movies. What is your keep film starring Colin Farrell?
Well, I think it's obvious. If you know me, you know that I am absolutely keeping and watching every chance I get any one of the Fantastic Beasts, most specifically Where to Find Them, where he played Graves.
The Fantastic Beasts series gets unfairly maligned. And I think more often than not, I think a lot of the critics are not necessarily dissing the film. They're dissing J.K. Rowling. Whatever you think of her thoughts on things, I don't care. Because she's not the one in the movies, right? You can write a good part and put a bad actor in it and the movie suffers. You can write a part and put a good actor in it and the movie is good because of the actor, not necessarily because of the person writing it. But also, I think they also get a little unfairly maligned because it's not Harry and Hermione and Ron, So I get it's a new world. You have to introduce them to it, but give them a chance. They are actually good films. My keep film for Colin Farrell, though, is not any of the Fantastic Beasts films. It's Minority Report. This is actually one of my more liked Tom Cruise films. Like, Tom Cruise has done some decent sci-fi films. He's also done some not so decent sci-fi films, but this is definitely one that's right up there. Phenomenal story. Colin Farrell is the cop that's chasing down Tom Cruise. Like, this is a great cat and mouse type movie with a phenomenal sci-fi plot. And one of the, again, I'll say it, better Tom Cruise performances of his sci-fi movie career. And you're going to laugh at my watch. You may not laugh at my watch film because you know me. You've met me. And anyone who listens to the show probably won't be surprised when I say that my watch film is actually Daredevil. I'm actually defending Daredevil. Now, that being said, when we talked about on our Grading on a Curve superhero movies special, I had less than stellar things to say about Elektra. But when it comes to Daredevil, it's actually not a bad film. Ben Affleck as Matt Murdock was actually not bad. Jennifer Garner as Elektra was great. Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin. Jon Favreau as Foggy Nelson. Like, you had a phenomenal cast, and you had Colin Farrell as Bullseye. A little over the top as Bullseye. I get it. But Daredevil is a lot better than people give it credit for. And again, I get it's one of those movies where you have a power couple in the film. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner, right? Bennifer 2.0. I get it. I understand. But don't let that and the media frenzy around those two take away from actually a very good and of course, remember, this is pre-MCU Marvel, right? This is when Fox was doing the Marvel films. And we know that Jennifer Garner is going to be in Deadpool 3 as Elektra. So I wonder if we're going to get anyone else from Daredevil in Deadpool 3, because that movie is going to mess-ish up. But now to you, Carrie, what is your watch Colin Farrell film?
I think I have to share the story that I watched this movie in the theater, and I had absolutely no plans this particular day to go and watch a movie. Remember we drove up to one of your shows and the tire blew out on the car. So I was forced to miss your gig even after traveling 2 hours to get to, I can't even remember where we were.
Oh, we were in Kitchener. I remember that gig.
And so I remember like plans were completely, literally blown up along with our car's tire. And I found myself killing time waiting for the car to be repaired and watching a movie. And I went to go see The Gentleman. It was a solo movie venture, which I don't do very often. And went to one of those VIP theaters and, you know, ordered popcorn from my seat or whatever. It was just the coolest, you know, non-planned venture to the movie theater. And watched Gentleman. And you know what? Colin Farrell's character was just, he stood out so much. I mean, there's incredible talent in this movie. Matthew McConaughey. Charlie Hunnam. Yeah. Like, come on. I mean, it was, and it was just, it was one of those like Kingsman type, you know, whodunit kind of stories. Like, they just kind of, the story just keeps evolving as you're watching it, and you just want more and more. And it was so fantastic.
Well, I mean, it's directed by Guy Ritchie. So if you're looking for one of those types of movies, you couldn't really find a better director to direct a film like The Gentleman. And also, and I think it needs to be said, the idea of going to a movie theater by yourself should be normalized. It really should. Like, you know, if you got nothing going on, take yourself out on a date. Treat yourself. You know, get you that good popcorn. Get you your flavor. Get you your seat. Kick the feet up. Kick back. Watch a film. Enjoy yourself. Take it. I'm sorry the tire blew out on the van. I'm sorry you had to wait for the van to get fixed. I appreciate all that you did, but I'm glad you at least had a decent time in watching the film.
Hey, Pantheon listeners, Christian Swain here. You caught me just finishing up some editing on Getting Real with John and Beth. I want to share my first experience with Factor meals for you. I think you'll find this interesting because I bet the same thing happens to you. I had just received my first shipment from Factor Meals the other day, and I was excited to try one of the prepared restaurant quality meals for myself. Anyway, I was working away and noticed it was very late, and it was my night to make dinner. I jumped up and headed to the kitchen, went to grab the ingredients for the dish I was going to make, and realized I was missing a prime ingredient. Well, I could make a run to the store, or I could make one of my new Factor meals. Actually, the choice was easy. I grabbed a cavatappi, an Italian-style pork ragu with garlic broccoli, heated the oven per instructions, and minutes later was enjoying a very delicious, nutritious, and dietitian-approved meal. It really was everything Factor Meals said it would be. No prep, no mess meals. Factor Meals are 100% ready to heat and eat. Take it from me and head to factormeals.com/Pantheon50 and use the code Pantheon50 to get 50% off. That's factormeals.com/Pantheon50 and use the code Pantheon50 to get 50% off.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
All right, though, it's past time. So what is your Colin Farrell pass flick?
I'm sorry. So you were raving about his Daredevil Bullseye performance. I have to pass on the Batman movie where he played the Penguin. And to be fair, it literally took me watching the credits to realize that it was actually Colin Farrell, which, you know what, his characterization of the Penguin was brilliant. It had nothing to do with him. This has nothing to do with Colin Farrell. I just did not enjoy the movie. I thought it was about an hour too long, and I still can't get behind Cedric being Bruce Wayne. I'm sorry. I know I'm going to blow up the internet, but I didn't like the Batman.
I want to put this into perspective, okay? So this film is 176 minutes long. All right? So you're basically at 3 hours, right? If you're counting the trailers at the beginning of the film, you're definitely over 3 hours long. The budget for this film is listed between $185 and $200 million. So you're literally spending $1 million a minute on this film. I personally didn't mind it, and I actually don't mind Robert Pattinson as this version of Batman. And yes, Colin Farrell was actually good as the Penguin. And in this calendar year, we're going to be getting a Penguin series starring Colin Farrell on HBO Max. Sorry, Max now, because they changed the name of it again. This film does have some very good performances, like Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon. Sorry, Detective Gordon, because of course we're talking Batman in an earlier age. Good, not necessarily who I would have maybe picked for Gordon, but freaking love Jeffrey Wright, so I got no problems there. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman.
Okay, she was great.
She was absolutely great, and very much more in an Eartha Kitt style of Catwoman. Paul Dano as the Riddler was creepy as but it was a good version of the Riddler. Like, this film would have suffered if Paul Dano came in and did a Frank Gorshin, Jim Carrey style Riddler. This is not that world. And I think Paul Dano had a very interesting take on the Riddler.
I'll agree with you there. I mean, definitely there were some fantastic performances. I personally, and I will stand behind this statement, Michael Keaton is my Batman. He's my Bruce Wayne. So anything outside of that, I admit I'm biased, but I just found this one was way too long.
I'm going to ask you a question. Let me ask you a question here, okay? Are you picking the Batman as your past film because of the tonality of it, and keep in mind too the hard to see-ness of it, because it is filmed very dark and very sparse, or is your ass passing on this because it sat in a theater for 3 hours?
Well, I will say I'm not passing on anything that Colin Farrell did to make me want to pass on this movie. So it has nothing to do with Colin Farrell as an actor, as a performer, as the Penguin. I felt, why could it not have been a half an hour shorter? Why could it not have been maybe a 2-hour movie? Did it really have to? It just felt like they tried to do too much with it. It was just too much jammed into, I don't know. I mean, as much as I love, I'm a huge Tarantino fan. But when we watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I get that feeling too, where it's like, okay, does it really have to be this long?
I think the Batman is more justified than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think there was some patter scenes in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I could probably easily take about a half an hour out of that film. The Batman is actually cut down because there were some scenes that were taken out, including the Joker in Arkham.
Good Lord, I would not want to watch a 4-hour Batman. I mean, couldn't they make 2 movies? Like do the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. Break it into half.
The thing is, though, and I'm going to give full kudos to this film for one aspect, in that, yes, you are reintroducing a new Batman, and it feels like every time you reintroduce a Batman, they feel like they need to tell the story of Bruce's parents getting shot over and over and over again. They didn't do that here. It's not, don't bore us, get to the chorus. They bypass the story that's been told at least 3 times in cinema already So kudos to them for that. It's kind of like how Homecoming for Spider-Man, we didn't need to see Uncle Ben die again. Thank God for that. But now we get to my past film. And I'm passing on a film that was released during a very interesting time in cinema. In that, in 2020, of course, everyone was told to stay at home because pandemic. And this was also the beginning of the time of Disney Plus. So I will say that things like The Mandalorian got us through some of those early days of the pandemic because it was new stuff for us to watch. One of the movies that was released on Disney Plus during that time in 2020 was Artemis Fowl. And he played Artemis Fowl Sr. in this film. I will admit that I'm not familiar with the Artemis Fowl character more so than the fact that I just know that it exists in literature, but I wasn't a fan of the film. I get the idea of taking a character from a children's books or at least a young adult series and trying to bring it to Disney Plus because it already has a fan base for the character. Just not a fan of the film. But that being said, I do absolutely appreciate all the efforts of anyone involved in a film that came out during the time when theaters were closed, people had to stay at home, and we needed something to watch. So anything new, kudos to them for that. Artemis Fowl, it's not a bad film. And that's the thing. I'm passing on this because I have to pass on a film. And of the films starring Colin Farrell that I have watched, this is the one that I liked the least of all the ones that I've seen. No one can really watch every film unless you are a diehard fan of a specific actor, which I like Colin Farrell, but I'm not stalking him at the DVD shelves, if you know what I'm saying. It's just one of those films that it just didn't hit for me. And we watched it with our kids too, because we were like, well, this will be something interesting for them. And they were just like, meh. Just meh. All right. Carrie, before we go, please remind our listeners what your keep, watch, and pass films were from movies starring the Razzie Redeemer winner from the 43 Golden Raspberry Awards, Mr. Colin Farrell, not a troll.
I'm keeping Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And I watched The Gentleman solo by myself. I'm sorry. And I'm passing on Batman. I should have sent you solo to the theaters on that one.
Not Batman. You're passing on The Batman. Very different.
The Batman.
That is like going to want to watch Room and watching The Room. Very, very
or
different.
Terminal.
And The Terminal. Very different. Okay, so I am keeping Minority Report. I am watching Daredevil, and I am passing on Artemis Fowl. By the way, if you want to go see a movie by yourself, you don't have to slash my tires in order to be able to do it. There are easier ways to get a night out, you know.
There was a Matthew McConaughey movie in the theater, so...
So you slashed my tire for Matthew McConaughey.
I was in the car when it happened. I didn't do it.
All right.
It's not like I went to see Magic Mike by myself in the theater.
Ugh.
Not that you could, find the movie receipt. No.
No. Yeah, sure. You went to go see The Gentleman.
The Gentleman.
Yeah. You went to go see The Gentleman. Whew, okay. So to you, our listeners, you guys know the drill. If there is a movie topic that you want us to cover or a movie that you want us to cover, hit us up on social media at Not That Badcast or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. And while you're there, make sure you check out all of our other shows, including our music-related ones. There Can Only Be One and Spin, Shuffle, Skip. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. Colin Farrell is awesome, and so are you guys too.
Not a troll.
Not a troll. This is Keep Watch Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.
What would you do to achieve the American dream? The big house, the happy family, the money.
911, what's your emergency?
Would you put in the hours? Would you take a big swing?
What's the problem? What's the problem?
Would you lie? Would you cheat?
Would they shop? Would they shop?
Would you kill?
Yes. My mom is dead. My mom is right there.
From Airship, the studio behind American Scandal, comes a new true crime history podcast. I'm Jeremy Schwartz, and I'll be taking you inside the minds of some of our most notorious felons and outlaws, exploring the dark side of the American dream. In my new show, American Criminal, you'll meet the picture-perfect brothers who'd kill their parents, the thief who stole babies, the crypto king who siphoned off billions, and plenty more. From assassins and gangsters to killers and con artists. Whatever the case, whoever the criminal, you don't know the full story. Until now. Don't miss the debut season of American Criminal, The Menendez Brothers, beginning February 29th. Listen wherever you get your podcasts, or to get early ad-free access to the entire season first, plus hundreds of other ad-free history podcast episodes, subscribe at intohistory.com.